Good morning, everybody. It's Lisa with Undermined Propaganda. It is Thursday, July 9th, 2026. Thank you to everyone who's been listening, liking, subscribing, and engaging in any way with my videos. Thank you, PT0311, David Cordero, Susan Chapman, Hank Roos, and Eileen Knifened. And everyone else, I have a lot of subscribers. I do not have your names, but thank you to all of you guys and anybody that has engaged in any way. Greatly, greatly appreciated. All right. Well, Israel has a lot of power here in America. The Zionist lobby has a lot of power here in America. They have for many, many, many decades, and they continue to have that power. We continue to see war raging in the Middle East. We continue to see Trump say there's a ceasefire, and then there's not, and then there is, and then there's not. And then yesterday, strikes again in Iran, severe strikes in Iran. Iran is striking back. Oil prices are back up. Energy reserves continue to be depleted. Prices continue to go up. Innocent people continue to die. Israel and America are causing havoc around the world. And the Zionist lobby here in America is doing everything it can to keep the status quo. One of the ways that they do this is anybody that critiques Israeli actions, anybody that calls for an end to the genocide in Gaza, anybody that speaks out against sexual assault of Palestinian hostages, anybody that calls for an arms embargo and an end to all this war is called anti-Semitic. It's one of the tactics that they use. And if you think that I'm making this up, or if you think that other people that have brought this up far before I ever did are making this up and are lying and are saying things just to speak against Jewish people, let's take a look at this video from almost a decade ago on Democracy Now! Amy Good is interviewing an Israeli politician explaining how they use this tactic of calling anybody that criticizes Israel as anti-Semitic, how that's been part of their plan. That's what they do. So let's go ahead and take a look at this video really quick. Okay, let's see it, hear it right from an Israeli politician's mouth, what one of the tactics are that they use to shut down any criticism of Israel and their actions.
Often when there is dissent expressed in the United States against policies of the Israeli government, people here are called anti-Semitic. What is your response to that as an Israeli Jew?
Well, it's a trick. We always use it. When from Europe somebody is criticizing Israel, then we bring up the Holocaust. When in this country people are criticizing Israel, then they are anti-Semitic. And the organization is strong and has a lot of money, and the ties between Israel and the American Jewish establishment are very strong, and they are strong in this country. As you know, they have power, which it's okay. They are talented people and they have power, money, and media and other things. And their attitude is Israel, my country, right or wrong, the identification. And they are not ready to hear criticism, and it's very easy to blame people who criticize certain acts of the Israeli government as anti-Semitics, and to bring up the Holocaust and the suffering of the Jewish people, and that justify everything we do to the Palestinians.
Wow. And that last line there too. It justifies everything we do to the Palestinians.
Have you ever seen that
over and over and over again?
Into a dreamy...
And you've seen that over and over and over again when people criticize this genocide in Gaza that we are supporting. Criticize genocide. It's just, even that sentence. But it's what's happening here in America. And on The View this week, Marjorie Taylor Green was on there, and she was attacked because she put out a post saying that she feels, she thinks, she believes AIPAC, the Zionist lobby here in America, has something to do with the Graham Plattner scandal, sexual assault scandal. Now, whether or not that's true, I don't know. Do I think that two things can be true? Do I believe that the sexual assault allegations against Graham Plattner, as well as his other issues from his past, are valid reasons for him to be under question, for valid reasons for people to question whether or not he should be elected to Congress, question him and his actions, have him be accountable for what he did do? Absolutely, that is ultimately 100% true. In my view of the world, anyone who commits sexual assault should be held accountable, period. Period. However, it can also be true that there is a concerted effort, and you can see it in media in this past week. Every single mainstream media channel, left and right, are dissecting, calling out, admonishing, condemning Graham Plattner for these actions that are accusations, valid, but at this point, accusations by former partners. And everybody, including AIPAC, came out with a statement against it. So it is not bizarre to think that AIPAC, not that they are creating what he did, but they are taking the scandal itself. And because Graham Plattner ran on a platform against Zionism, against the genocide in Gaza, against funding Israel, for Medicare for all, for a living wage, and because of those things, they're using these accusations to destroy the movement against policy that supports the Zionists, the genocide, the foreign wars. And that's what it feels like to me. So when she was pretty much attacked by Alyssa Farah in this segment we're going to watch, they used the post that Marjorie Taylor Green put up about AIPAC as a beginning point to attack her on it. But instead of, they're talking about the Graham Plattner situation, instead of staying focused on how valid it is or isn't, whether or not Graham Plattner is being held accountable, how we need to fight against sexual assault of any kind, misogyny of any kind. That is not what they use this segment for. They use this segment for attacking Marjorie Taylor Green and her stance against the Zionist lobby. And you will see how they do it here. So let's go ahead and take a look at this clip and how they do exactly what is described in that video by that Israeli politician. And any criticism of Israel is considered anti-Semitic. Here, hold on, I got the wrong video. Here we go. So let's take a look at this and see how this plays out and turns into a Zionist advocating for Zionism and advocating for Israel and against any criticism of Israel. Started out as discussion about the Graham Plattner sexual assault allegations.
Not at all.
Congressman, I want to ask you about another...
Just like it's not Americans with flags in front of their house's fault, and it should not be offensive.
Congressman, I do want to ask you about another post that you tweeted yesterday that you kept up. You seem to imply that AIPAC might be involved with the latest allegations of sexual assault by Graham Plattner. Well, criticism of AIPAC is the American Israel Public Affairs Committee. Well, criticism of AIPAC is perfectly legitimate political discourse. Do you not understand that this plays into anti-Semitic tropes about Jews control?
Right there. I mean, she starts it by saying any criticism of AIPAC is legitimate, and then completely contradicts it all, saying criticism of AIPAC is anti-Semitic.
Rolling things about Jews and money and power and politics. What do you even mean by that?
Well, what I mean by that is it's unfortunate that rich donors that put Israel first are playing in American politics.
Well,
just like my friend
is American donors, to be clear. It's Americans who care about you.
No. They care about Israel first. Israel's committing genocide
You do know that under federal law, only American citizens can.
Now, notice what happened right there. One, it started out as a discussion about Graham Plattner sexual assault charges, second day in a row that they're covering this, by the way. I didn't see any coverage of the New York Times article from last month about the numerous Palestinian hostages that the IDF in Israel have been sexually assaulting and using dogs to sexual assault. All those witness testimonies, that was credible witness testimonies in the New York Times about that sexual assault. I didn't see The View cover this one time. You know, in propaganda, it's not just what is reported, it's what isn't reported. That's how they create these narratives. So that's like such an important thing to notice this in this example, The View, which is mainstream media, what they do and don't report. But right here, where Marjorie Taylor Green, who I disagree with on 99% of her policy, okay, let's just get that out of the way. But her stance on Gaza and the genocide in Gaza and the Zionism and our support for Israel's ongoing genocides in the Middle East and slaughtering of innocent people, I 100% respect and back. And right there, Marjorie Taylor Green even took this moment while Alyssa is fighting for the right of Zionism, fighting for the right of the Zionist lobby to buy our politicians. While Alyssa is doing that, Marjorie Taylor Green takes the most important issue of our time, in my opinion, and talks about how Gaza, the Palestinians in Gaza are being genocided by Israel with our support, and that we don't want that. She brings up the slaughter and genocide of an entire people. And Alyssa, Farah, and the rest of this panel, they don't even take a beat. They don't even take a beat. They don't stop for 1 second even to acknowledge anything that she said about that. And they just go on. She just goes on to talk about how it's legitimate for the Israel lobby to fund things here in America. I mean, it's like those people don't even exist to them. It's like those people over there in the Middle East don't even exist to these people. They're not even human to these people. That is just, I mean, that was something really disturbing, with so many disturbing things here in America. That was really disturbing, just the way that she just completely didn't even acknowledge it.
Let me tell you the future of this country.
I didn't want to go back.
Only American citizens can contribute to AIPAC.
Let me tell you the future of this country is Americans are sick and tired of funding Israel's genocidal wars that are killing children.
Millions of Americans,
in Gaza,
including me, support Israel, for the record. That may be your
I don't
position.
support the government.
She said we don't support. She said millions of Americans don't support children getting slaughtered, innocent children. Well, many of us support Israel. I mean, she just said it out loud right there.
Government of Israel. I support
Israel, for the record. That may be your...
I don't get tired of funding Israel's genocidal wars that are killing children.
Millions of Americans,
in Gaza,
including me, support Israel, for the record. That may be your...
Wow. Alyssa doesn't even try to say, well, that's not happening. She doesn't even try that lie. That's not happening. Or, of course we don't. I don't support slaughtering innocent people. But Israel's not doing that. They're going after Hamas. They're not even trying that anymore. She just says, well, I support Israel. I mean, she just flat out said right there, I support slaughtering innocent people in Palestine. She might as well have just said that, because that's what she said in the way she just responded to that. That's what she said. This is a mainstream, considered left show on TV, by the way, though Alyssa Farah is the token conservative.
I don't support the government of Israel. I support people. And I support Americans, and I support our tax dollars being used for our purposes.
Do you see how this
However, AIPAC took out one of my good friends, Thomas Massey. Okay, and Thomas Massey worked for his district.
Thomas Massey lost because Donald Trump endorsed against Thomas Massey.
Alyssa Farah, you are such a wretched, wretched human being. You're just a wretched human being. And you don't even lie well. $32 million. AIPAC put in $32 million to defeat Thomas Massie. $32 million. And yeah, sure, a Trump endorsement. Well, he supports the Zionist cause, so he's just part of that anyway. But there was no other time throughout Thomas Massie's career that AIPAC, the Zionist lobby, felt the need to use all those resources against him. Not with any of his other policies. And then now that he's out speaking up against Zionism, against bombing innocent people in the Middle East, against this illegal war in Iran, against the genocide in Gaza, suddenly, through all these years, AIPAC puts in $32 million into his primary race in Kentucky and gets him defeated. Don't hear her say one word about that, because you're not going to. She defends them, but she's not going to say that. She's going to, again, deflect. She's going to deflect. This clip's about over, guys.
You're going to blame AIPAC now? Because it feels like blaming the Jews. It feels like you're blaming the Jews.
No, I'm blaming...
Oh my God. Sorry, I keep stopping it, but this is a short clip, and she keeps, as she's talking over Marjorie Taylor Green, but Marjorie Taylor Green keeps saying, Israel, Israel, AIPAC, AIPAC, and then Alyssa's doing the thing that clip from Democracy Now! Talks about. Twist it and turn it and call it anti-Semitic, because that will shut down any discourse. So sorry, we're going to play this one more time.
Because
it feels like blaming the Jews. It feels like you're blaming the Jews.
No, I'm blaming donors that put Israel first over America. And this is
American donors who support Israel.
We're out of time. As much as
y'all should have had me for the whole...
The billionaire donors that support Israel. That isn't the American citizens, okay? That is the elite. But that woman is wretched, and that discourse was wretched. And just the things that she said, I mean, oh my God. And propaganda isn't about just what's covered. It's about what's not covered. That's how you create the narrative. And when you think about shows like The View or CNN or Fox, or all of them. Like I said earlier, did you see one story? If I missed it, let me know. Tell me in the comments. Say, hey, you're spewing bullshit here. They did cover this story. But I didn't see them cover the story that came out last month in the New York Times about the Palestinians. Women, children, men held without charge in Israeli prisons, sexually assaulted, tortured to death. The use of dogs, there are victim testimonies. And a credible Nicholas Kristof, I believe is his name, very credible journalist that stood by that story in that reporting. Did you see that covered over and over and over and over again on The View or on CNN or on MSNBC? Did you see it covered once on The View? It's what we acknowledge and what we don't. Who we feel as a society, not a society, as the establishment and the elite and the powerful here in America, who are worthy victims and who are not. And there's so many that are not worthy victims. So you don't even hear their story. You don't even hear the story. Alyssa, Farah there doesn't even respond. Marjorie Taylor Green says that she is against the genocide in Gaza against the Palestinians. Alyssa Farah says, well, I support Israel. And you have a faction here in America that's where they stand. No matter what they do, they will support it. They will fight for it. They will shut you down. They will destroy your career. They will deplatform you. They will imprison you. They will deport you. They will kill you. That is where we're at with that. So anyways, I just wanted to put that out there because I think this all ties into what's been going through my mind. And it feels like a concerted effort to destroy any movement against the Zionist lobby, against these forever wars, against people who want to see an end to this genocide and this slaughter in Gaza. It feels like a concerted effort. Graham Plattner and his abhorrent actions, his abhorrent alleged actions or actions, are being used as a vehicle to destroy any movement against this machine of death, this machine of destruction that is the American empire, that is Israel. So let me know if you think that there's something to my thought process here, what you think about these comments back and forth between Marjorie Taylor Green and Alyssa Farah, and how powerful people will stand up for horrific, inhumane actions, even in our mainstream media. Like, share, subscribe, it's free. And again, like I said, comment and let me know what you think. All right, guys, most importantly, I hope you find some peace in the rest of your day. All right, we will talk to you soon. Thanks a lot.